Raiders stay to a 3-0 lead as we go to the top of the fourth. Geoff Kim along with Chris Collins, Marty Bannister alongside of us. A 3-0 lead, and of course Marty had said we're going to try and hold the lead the next couple innings until Marty gets back. Wouldn't that be something, Chris?
Oh, we surely hope so. And, you know, looking at Kevin Morris, you would think that that's a possibility because he's really had good rhythm here in these first 3 innings. He's worked ahead of the hitters, which is so important.
First pitch of the fourth inning is a fly ball to right. Josh Hart has a beat, and there's one down.
You know, as we left you before that break, Josh Hart, it was fairly obvious, and he took off a little early as that ball was hit to short left field, and tried to get a little early break, maybe try to catch the umpire napping, but it was a good call, but it cost the Raiders a run in that situation, and rather than a 4-run lead, it's just 3 here as we're in the top of the fourth with 1 out.
Well, with that first out, Kevin Morris, 3 1/3 innings, 2 base hits, no runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts. That's the line on him so far. Right-hander versus right-handed batter in Al Candia. And the first pitch, a called strike, so says Lenny Brickens at home plate, 0-1.
Is he retired about 8 or 9 in a row right now, Geoff?
8 in a row. He's done a fine job, really stayed around the strike zone. And the 0-1. Breaking pitch, bit downstairs, and we're even up. Something that you had mentioned in the last broadcast, Chris, about being wild in the strike zone. That has not been the case here.
No, he hasn't. He's been getting at a hitter as we're speaking of Morse for Wright State, as a fact that he's been clipping the corners early in the count.
However, he falls behind in this case, 2-1. Candia had a base hit back in the first inning.
Yeah, he'll probably
in the cleanup spot, I'm sorry.
I was going to say he'll probably come with a fastball here.
And it's fouled back, and we're even up, deuce.
When I say fastball, it doesn't have to be, blazing over 90 miles per hour. Placement is so important. Location, location, location. He didn't come flat right down the middle of the plate. A little bit on the outside outer half there, and he was able to get the hitter to foul the ball back.
Here's a deuce pitch, a bit downstairs, and we go full. Well, you know what? He's done a very fine job keeping that fastball up a bit and down a bit. It's almost like he's really been able to effectively mix in a 4-seamer and a 2-seamer. Here's the payoff. It's in the air to deep left center field. Going back is Ranstad. Track wall. It's off the wall. Here's Candia to second. He will be in standing with a 2-base hit.
Well, another example of getting behind in the count. He had to come in with a fastball. He got it pretty much below the belt, right down the middle. And Candia, a very good power hitter. He was able to find the gap in left center field and got one out double here in the top of the fourth inning. The first scoring opportunity for UIC in the game. Well, I should say in the first inning. They got 2 outs with runners at first and second, but this situation would just run out and a runner at second.
Candia racks up his 10th double of the year. So Armin Candia now up at the plate. Flew out to left to close things out in the first inning, and in fact a spectacular play out and left by Chuck Kester to snuff out the inning. Upstairs, a little chin music. What tune was that carrying? 1-0.
Well, Candia just wanted to get out of the way.
I'm sure they'll teach that pirouette at any local dance school. The 1-0, it's in the air to center field. In his tracks is Ranstad, 2 down.
I'm kind of curious that the other Candia didn't go back to try to tag up because that ball was hit fairly deep. He just kind of went halfway, and I think his coach at third base maybe told him that was the wrong situation.
Speaking of the coaches,
they're going halfway.
Over at first, it's Chris Malinowski for UIC, and at third base, JT Brewitt. And if that name sounds familiar to Major League Baseball fans, well, he was with the Twins for a cup of cappuccino in 1994 and 95.
A lot of Minnesota flavor on this coaching staff.
Yes, sir. First pitch.
It's your neck of the woods, isn't it, Geoff?
Yes. Yes, and in fact, in reading Mike D's biography, to see him come from the University of Minnesota and see what they've been able to do with the talent they've had up there, I expect him to do well here at UIC. 2-0 the count.
Yeah, speaking of the talent, who comes to mind? You see number 31 pitching for Wright State. There's also a big number 31 that played at Minnesota. Dave Winfield, right?
Yes, sir. I like it. One of those few players or individuals as this one chopped foul off the first baseline. Dave Winfield, in case you didn't know, was drafted in 3 sports. And of course, he chose baseball, which of course turned out to be the right choice. But a wealth of talent, of course, from the Chicagoland. And if you want to keep on with another Minnesota connection, well, there's a famous Chicago player who made his mark with the Minnesota Twins. Kirby Puckett on his way to his Hall of Fame career.
But he played, what, junior college ball in Chicago?
And he was raised there. And the next offering is fouled away. So we now go to a deuces wild count. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out with a man on second.
A lot of baseball fans remember, I think he played at Triton.
You're correct. I'm going to have to keep up with you, Chris. I'm telling you.
Just stole all your notes, Geoff.
Deuces wild. Swing and a bouncing ball. Base hit into left field. They're going to give the green light and a score very easily for Al Candea. An RBI single for Andy Deal. It is now 3-1.
Well, you got a runner on second base, and you got the shortstop trying to keep him close at second base. That opens up the hole, and UIC was able to find the hole there, and the slow turf in the outfield meant that it was pretty much easy going for the runner at Candea at second base to score with 2 outs and give UIC their first tally of the game. We'll get an opportunity to see it, Jeffrey. Morse just wants to come in and get a strike. Hitter, nice. Kept his hands in. He was able to turn on the ball and look for the hole. I believe he was trying to go that way because of the hole left open. Beam having to hold the runner at second. You can see Candea coming around third, and by the time Kesker got to the ball, the runner was already halfway to home plate.
First pitch to Jason Hughes is a called strike, 0-1. Jason, a fly out to center back in the second inning. So a run is crossed here in the second inning. I'm sure Marty Bannister's looking over at me saying, here we go, the floodgates will open up. Called strike, and just like that, Hughes down 0-2.
Come on, Hughes, what's that, kid?
Well, some coaches, like in this situation, 0-2 and 2 outs, it's a possibility they may even just try to send the runner. It's nothing you normally do, but
Deal the lead off of first. He's staying, and this one just outside. Boy, it looked like Kevin Morris really wanted that one, 1-2.
Well, it was a good pitch. He kept it out of the strike zone.
Looked like pretty good placement by Doug Nichols behind home plate. You would have thought Lenny Brickens would have given him that one, but in any case, it's 1-2 here. Nichols will set up outside. He comes down sidearm. Here's a throw down to second. Bruner short hops it, gets it, and safe is the call.
Delayed steal in that situation, trying to catch the Raiders napping, but Nichols made a nice stop on that ball, and he threw the ball on a hop, and Bruner made a nice pick down there, and UIC base runner was able to elude the tag and was able to slide around and get in with a stolen base.
4th stolen base of the year for Andy Deal. In fact, this is a team that is somewhat underrated in its team speed. They came in 48 for 60 in stolen bases, yet they don't have anybody in double digits. But a 2-2 count here. And the pitch down in the dirt, and we go full.
Well, I think it's really important right now for Morse to get this hitter with 2 outs because UIC has done all their damage now with 2 outs. And what you don't want him to do is gain that momentum and make it a 1-run game situation. Raiders up by 2. He'd like to get out of this situation by getting the hitter.
Play back to second. Beam catches, however, back in with the head first slide is Deal. Full count, awaiting. Should Hughes reach, it'll be Pete Lotus.
Used a 286 hitter before coming into this ball game. First baseman.
Payoff once again. It's in the air to right, foul and well out of play.
You know, you look through games, Geoff, be it 9 innings, 7 innings, such as this is the first game of a doubleheader. You talk about turning points, defining moments of the game, and this could be one of those situations right here. Wright State coming into the inning with a 3-0 lead. UIC scores their first run with 2 outs, 3-2. Got a runner at second base. Morris really wants to bear down right here and get his Raiders out of trouble and get back to the dugout and put some more runs on the board.
The check of second once again. The payoff once again. It's in the air, fisted back and out of play. As you and Marty had mentioned at the top of our broadcast, rainouts, now we have 2 lost games here in the conference, and Wright State coming in with a 3-5 record in the conference. You know, they could just as well be 5-5. And once again, deja vu, the payoff downstairs, ball 4. First walk issued today by Kevin Morris.
Well, you know, I can't question, you know, that pitch selection right there. I think that was very good. He was just unable to get the ball over the plate because what you didn't want to do is lay a fat fastball right down the middle and that run to score. Because now what he's done, he's set up the situation where you got force out on the sacks out there. You got a left-handed hitter up, and now he can start the count all over again. So let's see what Morris can do now with 2 outs and work on the batter here and get the Raiders out of this little jam here in the top of the 4th.
Pete ended things back in the second inning. Swinging on a third strike, and this fastball upstairs for ball 1. Well, you know, just as soon as I come on, and all of a sudden Kevin Morse showing a little loss of control now.
Well, Lotus ahead in the count here, 1-0. I'm sure he's probably looking for that fastball. See where Morris puts it.
And it's down and in, nicely scooped by Doug Nichols, and it's 2-0.
Jeff, you hear the phrase aiming the ball, and I think Morris right now, because he's, I think, feeling a little bit of pressure. He had such good rhythm early in the game, and now because of base runners, has to pitch from the stretch, not out of the windup, maybe feeling a little tight in the situation, and is not throwing the ball as well as he had early on.
Downstairs, and now 3 balls and no strikes.
I would think that if he loses the hitter here, that he might have a visit on the mound by Coach Nishwitz. As we see some bullpen action getting ready for Wright State down the right field line. Looks like Terry Lambert getting ready.
3-0, right down Broadway, a called strike. And in fact, Pete Lotus over at home plate kind of thought the pitch was a little high. He was headed down to first. However, Lenny Bricken said, no, sir, and it's 3-1.
Umpires don't like it when hitters are in that crouch and crouch down even more when the pitch comes in.
And a
Nice
called
pitch.
strike, and we go full. Well, you know what? If that's the case, they would really hate me at the plate.
No.
You should see me when I play softball. I'm a modern-day version of Eddie Goodell.
Big time right here, no, Jeff. It's 3-2 and 2 outs. The runners will be on the move, and the Raiders have a 2-run lead.
Runners
Nice
going
pitch.
swing and a miss, and the side is retired.
Got him on a changeup.
However, a run on 2 base hits, 2 left on here through 3.5. It's 3-1 Raiders.
Oh, geez, I forgot the milk. I'll be right back, Fred. Fred? Fred? Fred?
Win instantly, win on TV. Cash Explosion. It's got everybody scratching.
And you're not going to believe our next contestant.
Our DP&L neighborhood service centers help us quickly respond to customers.
I really like helping our customers, like with payment options, for instance.
For instance, this place operates 24 hours a day, so I may get a call late at night.
Well, at night, things can get pretty rough out there, but our customers are depending on us.
Well, customers are surprised when I show them how easy it is to make their home more energy efficient.
Efficient, low-cost power, the latest technologies. We're ready.
Ready, Lucky?
Let's get ready, honey. Look at Daddy.
DP&L, it's the way to go.
To the bottom of the 4th we go, and it's 3-1. Of course, the Raiders getting all 3 of their runs in the 2nd inning. A double, a run-scoring single, and a home run to clear the bases. The pitch is a little inside to Chuck Kesterk, ball 1.
Well, he started Kestergaard his first time up this afternoon with a sharp breaking ball down in the dirt and got him later in the count on the same type of pitch. Let's see how he approaches the pitcher this time.
And it's in the air to right field. Shallow, and it'll drop in, base hit.
He got jammed on that pitch, and he was able to, Kestergaard that is, strong enough to just get it out over the second baseman and in front of the right fielder for a base hit to lead off the bottom of the 4th inning for the Raiders, who I'm sure would like to come back and counteract that run scored by UIC in the top of the 4th inning now with only a 2-run lead.
Just a little flare into right field. In fact, it was so odd because the infield and the outfield was shifted over that way, and they still couldn't get to the ball. 4th base hit of the ball game, and now Nick Shields at the plate. Swing and a miss, 0-1. Nick had a base hit, an RBI single back in the 2nd inning, and came around to score on the home run by Doug Nichols.
Gillum starts Shield off with an off-speed pitch. Shields out in front of the ball. Good lead by Kestergaard over at first.
Nice slider, and it's just like that, 0-2 to Shields.
Backdoor breaking ball. What we mean by that is he starts it outside the plate and it's able to drop over once it comes through that strike zone. Shields have to protect the plate in this situation.
Infield looking for 2. See if they come inside. This one fouled away. So the count remains the same. 0-2 to Nick Shields.
Matt Bruner on deck. Raiders in the lower half of their batting order. Of course, this is the first of 2 Raiders and UIC will play 2 7-inning games, a doubleheader this afternoon here at Wright Field.
That's what you call a waste pitch right there, 1 and 2.
And really both starting pitchers doing what coaches like to see, especially in the first game of a doubleheader, and that's continue to be out on the pitching mound so you don't have to use a lot of relievers.
Shields with that wide open stance, the pickoff. We'll see if they get it. No throw down to second, a stolen base for Chuck Kester.
And Kester did the right thing in that situation. Even though you're picked, don't stop, keep going, because what happened there was Gillum, his throw over to the first baseman was low and in the dirt, and he had to turn around and throw down to second base, and we'll get an opportunity to see that. You can see Kester is frozen at first base for a moment, and he takes off and doesn't even stop. Throw is low. Hughes picks the ball up. Has trouble getting it out of his glove and doesn't even make an attempt to throw because Kester got a good jump.
Ground ball left field, base hit. They're going to give the green light. Here's a throw on in. It'll be to the cutoff man. It's 4-1 Raiders.
And Shields again comes up with another big hit. He was down on the count 1 and 2, was able to find the hole in shortstop and get his second RBI of the game, and that is a huge run. The Raiders now back to a 3-run lead, 4-1, their 6th hit of the game, and the second and 2 RBIs for Shields in this one.
RBI's numbers 11 and 12 on the RBI singles here in the second, now in the fourth. Kester scored easy from second base.
Well, if you're going to put a designated hitter in the game, you want him to be productive, and Shields has been in this one.
Shields the little leadoff over at first. Bruner squaring the bunt, misses it. Now the throw back to first and out. A bang-bang play as that one goes 1-3.
Well, first of all, they're trying to get the bunt down, and Shields got too much of a lead out at first base, trying to get a little extra jump if the bunt had been put in play. So he was caught off the bag, and UIC catcher was alert, and he made a nice peg down to first base to pick off the Wright State base runner.
Flames catch a break, 1 down in the inning, and the pitch swing and a miss, and just like that, 0-2 the count against Matt Bruner.
Zinski has a pretty good arm there behind the plate. He showed it off right there. I mean, a nice peg down to Hughes.
The 0-2, missing just downstairs, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Lefty Gillum delivers, and strike 3 swinging, 2 down.
Big defensive play really pumps up your pitcher, and Gillum made some nice pitches in that sequence right there to Bruner. He was able to get ahead in the count, and he threw a fastball, had a good tail on it. A lot of good left-handers have that tail on the ball going away from Bruner, and he was able to make contact. So now 2 down for Wright State.
Doug Nichols, the 2-out batter, left the yard in inning number 2, his 4th of the year. Gillum kicks and deals, and this one foul back off to our right.
Doug doesn't get cheated when he goes to the plate.
No,
he goes
sir.
up there hacking.
Comes on in with a good deal of power, in fact. 3 doubles in limited time also. The 0-1. Fisted into right field, a base hit. Nichols around first, and he'll stay right there. So Doug, 2 for 2 on the day, and now the rain's starting to come on down here at right field.
Yeah, Nichols was fooled on that pitch. He was out in front, actually hit it off the end of the bat, but he was strong enough to get it over the infield and into right center field for the base hit. And we'll get a opportunity to see that. Gillum changes speeds a lot. You can see he comes in with the pitch. It's down and away, and he stayed back on it kind of nice, hit it off the front foot, hit it off the end of the bat, and was able to drop it into right center field for his 2nd hit of the game.
Chris Ranstead will try and keep this inning alive. 0 for 1, a ground out. And this one, a fastball upstairs just a bit. 1-0. Ranstead, should he get on, it'll be Jim Morris to follow. It really has been the bottom of the lineup today, Chris. Top hasn't done much so far, and this one down and away, 2-0. Now all of a sudden, Wes Gillum having a little trouble finding his fastball as far as location is concerned.
Well, you talk about the bottom of the lineup. That's what you want. You don't want any easy outs in your lineup, and it's good to see everybody contributing to this point because you know the top of the order has been consistent most of the year, and they're going to be able to put some runs up on the board too.
Down and in. So now the count goes to 3-0 against Chris Ranstead. You can imagine Bo Belinsky over at third base saying, "You got the stop sign. You're not going on this one."
Yeah, I don't think he'll be swinging on this pitch.
Right down Broadway, 3-1. Well,
Well, Wright State has an option here. I know Nichols, as a catcher, does not maybe run well, but they're not holding him on. At first base, you got a left-handed hitter. In Ranstead, he's got the count advantage 3-1. Will they send him?
He'll stay in a drive hit well into left field, down the line. It'll fall in and go to the base of the wall. Here's the green light. Here's the relay home. There'll be no throw. An RBI double for Chris Ranstead as he scores Doug Nichols from first, and it's now 5-1.
Something we talked about in the game against Cleveland State, Ranstad's ability to hit the ball to the opposite field, and he did in that situation, was able to get Nichols all the way in from first base, hit it deep into the left field corner, was able to find that spot. Nichols was able to go all the way around the bases to score the 5th run of the afternoon for Wright State, and you can see that rain continuing to come down at a steady pace.
Ranstead picks up his 20th RBI of the season. So the Flames put a run on the board here in the top of the inning, and the Raiders have now countered and added in another. So it's now 5-1 on 7 base hits. Here's their head coach, Mike D, coming on in. He wants a new pitcher in the lineup. This will be it. This will be it for Gillum.
Well, Gillum didn't really particularly pitch that bad this afternoon. Just got in some situations where the Raider hitters, especially with 2 outs right here, Ranstead, he had the knockout blow, so to speak, and he was able to go with the pitch. He got ahead in the count, did the hitter. You know, when you get behind hitters as a pitcher, you know, you got to come in there with that fastball, and Ranstead, a good inside-out swing, was able to drill that ball to left field and pick up the double RBI, knocking in Wright State's 5th run of the game and Ranstead's 2nd hit of the game. And now, consequently, we have a pitching change with a right-hander coming in for the Flames.
New pitcher on the hill. It's a right-hander, Jamie Velasquez, 6'1", 170 pounds, a sophomore out of Wheeling, Illinois. The line on him, 2-3 his record, an 8.62 ERA, making his 8th appearance, 5 of them starts, 1 complete game. He has pitched 31 1/3 innings, 39 base hits, 31 runs, 30 of those earned, 18 walks, 31 strikeouts, and opponents batting .295 against Velasquez. So the new pitcher in is a right-hander.
Jaime Velasquez, as you mentioned, with a high ERA, but you look at team ERA for the Illinois-Chicago Flames this year at 8.7. That's 5th in the MCC, compared to the Raiders, who are 3rd at 7.03. But you look at ERAs all around the country, they're still relatively high, Jeffrey, and of course the NCAA primarily changed, you know, the bat dimensions, going to 2 5/8 diameter rather than 2 3/4, and also the plus-minus ratio, the -3 between the width and the weight of a bat, you know, to maybe break down on those balls just jumping off those bats with bat speed, but really hasn't made a difference. And you know, it's tough for pitchers. You want to get ahead in the count, but you've got these big hitters too at this Division I level, and it makes it very difficult to keep those ERAs down.
And less than ideal conditions to come on into this ball game. Not only is your team behind now by the number of runs on the board, 4 runs. However, you're coming on into inclement conditions. The rain's starting to come on down. In fact, game time temperature in this one, 42 degrees. And I got to tell you, the way we're dressed today, I'm not so sure it's even that.
Well, it's not too bad. But you know, this part of the country, this time of year, it's something you expect. And I would imagine these coaches, they've been through this a lot, this part of the country. And, you know, their players, I don't believe, are even thinking about that. What they're trying to do is win a baseball game right now. Although I know for the fans and us, Jeffrey, it's a little difficult. But, you know, I think that's pretty much out of their minds. They're just trying to win a game.
Jim Morris will try and keep this inning alive, 0 for 2. The right-hander delivers his first pitch, a nice-looking fastball in the inside corner, 0-1.
Now that's what you want to do. You want to throw a strike coming out of the bullpen.
Josh Hart waiting on deck.
Raiders leadoff hitter would like to get a run in this situation.
Kick the 0-1 and a little chopper back to the box. Velasquez over to first, easy. 1-3 on the put out, and the sides retire, but not without damages. The Raiders put 2 more across on the board. It's 5-1 as we go down to the field and listen to more sounds of the game with head coach Ron Nischwitz.
But Wright State was able to come back there, Jeff, as we try to pick up some comments from Coach Nischwitz. They really needed to do that.
With 2 away. What happened to Shields down there? Get off too.
He got out there too far when he bunted through the ball. I told Shields, I said, I'd understand that from an outfielder, but you're a catcher. So what do you look for in a bunt situation as a catcher?
Looking for those guys bouncing around.
Looking for those guys, especially when you bunt through the ball.
Right.
Looking to throw behind.
That's a great point by assistant coach Dan Bassler talking to Coach Nischwitz when Shields was picked off at first base by the University of Illinois Chicago catcher. He's a catcher himself, so you got to look out. If you bounce out of there, guy bunts through the ball, he's going to throw down there.
The words caught napping come right to mind in that one. Simply just a case of thinking that Bruner was going to make contact, and really, even though he has a lower batting average this year, Matt Bruner, a very good batter in sacrifice situations.
Come on, Kevin.
Here, Coach Nischwitz shouting out encouragement to his pitcher, Kevin Morris, who is now enjoying the biggest lead in the game, 4 runs.
First batter, a lot of strikes in this first batter.
9-1-2 coming up here in this one as we lead things off in the 5th. Here's Sean McNichols. Tried to bunt his way on back in the 3rd inning, failed as Morse threw him out over at first.
Really enjoy that sounds of the game. It really adds an added dimension. Heard that point by Dan Bassler and hearing the comments of Coach Nischwitz. We thank the Media One crew for doing a great job technically and able to bring that to the fans in the game today.
McNichols checks his swing in time, 2-0. This one down Broadway, 2-1. So the Raiders have now enjoyed multiple run innings here in this ball game. 3 in the 2nd, 2 in the last frame in the 4th. The 2-1, he shows bunt again, and we even up. No, actually it's a bit downstairs, so it's 3-1.
I don't know how much more water that this field can take, but this is the first of 2. But looking to the west, it looks like it might be clearing up just a bit. Nice pitch, handcuff the hitter.
Full count now to the lead man here in this 5th inning. Sean McNichols will be followed by Joe Schicker and Bob Rosinski. The kick, the pitch downstairs, and we have a base runner here in the 5th in Sean McNichols. Second walk issued today by Kevin Morris.
McNichols, the shortstop today, but he also pitches for this Illinois-Chicago team. In fact, recently against Butler, he was able to fan 11 Butler Bulldogs about a week ago, so he must have a very good arm, and he's got a pretty good lead down at first base.
That, as they say, will get it done. Showing bunt is Joe Schicker, taking it as a strike.
Those 11 strikeouts, a career high.
Of course, Wright State doing well in their last conference series, in the last couple of games anyways. Chris Bedford tossed a 3-hit shutout, striking out 14 in that ball game en route to a 6-0 win, and a called strike right here. 0-2 now to Joe Schicker.
You know, we talk about the importance of, getting that first strike and also staying ahead of the hitters, but now with that 4-run lead, the rain coming down, Morris still wants to, pitch it within the game plan. He doesn't want to rush things along.
0-2, bouncing ball to Bruner. They could get 2, to Beam, to Bausch, and not in time. Safe is the call over at first by Chad Clore, and there's 1 away.
A lot of coaches I've been around, Jeff, through the years, could be 2, could be 2. You say get 2, but really in that situation, it's really get 1, get 1. You want to make sure you get the lead out in that situation, which Bruner and Beam did, and had an opportunity there to also get the double play. Of course, you would like that, but you make sure you get that lead runner in that situation, get the first out of the inning.
Bob Rosinski, the 1-out batter. A strikeout, a flyout, 0-2. Outfield playing straight away, infield looking for 2. And the curve is over for a strike.
Morris has done that more often than not, dropping that curveball in on the first pitch.
You want to talk about curveballs. That was a decent one here at the college level there for Kevin Morris, but we saw one on Tuesday that will just absolutely knock your socks off. Is this one downstairs, 1-1. Eric Ackerman, a freshman pitcher, a lefty for Pittsburgh. When they came on in, they beat the Raiders 8-1, but he had an Uncle Charlie that just dropped from here, from your waist, all the way down to your shoes.
A lot of players don't see that curveball anymore. It's kind of a thing of the past. You see those big sliders or those breaking balls that kind of swoop away from hitters, as they call curveballs. But that old roundhouse curve over the top of the ball that drops, like you say, Jeffrey, a lot of hitters aren't used to seeing that.
A ball, 2 strikes here to Rosinski. He levels and waits, and the pitch downstairs, nicely covered up by Nichols. Rain is stopped momentarily here at right field. As you had said just moments ago, starting to clear up just a little. Deuce count against Rosinski. The check in by Morris to Nichols. Swing, it's in the air to center field. Ranstead on his horse, now coming down, and a few steps in front of the warning track puts it away.
I like Ranstad's abilities out there in center field. You can see why he patrols that area. He's able to get a good jump on the baseball, catches the ball with 2 hands. He's in the game, and he gets a good jump on the ball, like I mentioned, and that's key for an outfielder in that situation, and he does have good speed.
Now batting, number 2.
3-man in the lineup, Eric Duke coming around, a base hit, 1 for 2.
Duke, one of the better hitters on this team. In fact, you look average-wise, he is the best.
Throw goes over to first, and a head-first slide back over there by Joe Schicker. Duke, should he get on, it'll be Al Candea, and this one looped into right, down the line, and foul.
Duke, as a lot of hitters have, is that nice compact swing. Doesn't try to do a lot with a baseball when the pitch isn't exactly where he wants it, but I'm sure by looking at that swing, he's able, if he gets a ball inner half in, is able to turn on it.
And we've seen a couple pitches turned on today, except not out of the yard.
Of course, he hasn't hit a home run all year.
This one popped up wide of the first baseline in foul territory. Bausch calls for it, and the side's retired. No runs, no hits, a runner left. We have played 4.5, and the Raiders lead it 5-1.
Choosing a school that's right for you can be tough. If you're looking for a university that can help you start right, look at Wright State University. We are committed to your success. We offer more than 140 degree programs, and many have been nationally recognized for excellence. Wright State is dedicated to building a better tomorrow for its students. Come see for yourself why we say Wright State University puts success within your reach.
Another Nokia discovery. Dead batteries are inconvenient. That's why Nokia makes wireless phones with more than 4 hours of talk time and 200 hours of standby time. Inspired technology with a human touch. Nokia. Connecting people.
Geoff Kim, Chris Collins, Marty Bannister to join you back in the 6th. 5-1 is your score here at right field. New pitcher on the mound. Well, he came in the last inning, Jaime Velasquez. The first offering from him coming on up to Josh Hart is a called strike, so says Lenny Brickens, 0-1.
Lost the rain has stopped, Jeff, for the moment.
Hey, who says good things don't happen here? You know what I'm saying? Especially with the weather the last couple of days. Here's the next offering, and just like that, Hart down 0-2. We were called off on Friday and on Saturday due to rain, and of course the rain coming down just a little bit today, but holding off now. Hart down in the count, 0-2, and the next offering on the outside.
Well, pitcher and catcher. That situation not able to hook up. Ball thrown into center field. They'll throw that one out. Pitcher gets a new ball.
A ball, 2 strikes here to Hart, to be followed by Dusty Beam and Brian Bausch.
Different look for the Raiders now. The right-hander in for UIC.
It's in the air to right center field. Giving chase is Pete Lotus, and he'll make the catch. 1 down.
Well, with 2 strikes, you got to go where the ball's pitched. That was a slider a little bit away, and the Hart had a nice swing and was able to make contact, but really didn't get it all. The ball held up in right field for the first out of the inning.
Dusty Beam, the 1-out batter. A fly ball to the track in right field back in the first, and reached on a single back in the third. 1 for 2.
Vasquez throws around 3/4, comes across. Be tough, a little bit over the top in that situation. He has a pretty good slider, so it looks like he could be tough on right-handed hitters.
A ball, no strikes here to Dusty.
Only 1 left-hander in the starting lineup for Wright State here in game 1.
And he takes downstairs again, 2-0. There was a nice article written about him in the Dayton Daily News earlier in the week, talking about his relationship with his batting coach, Ted Mills, and how he's progressed into a fine hitter at Wright State. 2-0. It's in the air to left field. Back she goes. Track, wall, see you later. Dusty Beam leaves the yard for the 8th time this year, and the Raiders get back on the board again. It's 6-1.
Well, a beamer to left field. Dusty got a pitch to his liking. Ball was out over the inner half of the plate, and he really turned on it. Didn't really overswing, but he got a good piece of the bat on that. Let's take a look at it. As Dusty Beam now has 8 home runs on this season, and the key is staying back. Look where he holds the hands. Now he drops in that zone, turns on it, and really hit that ball hard. That ball went sailing over the left field wall for Wright State's 6th run of the game. They've now got a 5-run lead here in the bottom of the 5th.
Brian Bausch takes downstairs, ball 1. So Dusty leaving the yard for the first time, as far as we can tell, here in the home season. Ball catches the inside part of the plate, 1-1.
What was impressive about that, though, Jeffrey, is the fact that wasn't one of those high towering shots. I mean, that was just a screamer. I mean, a line drive. He hit that ball well off the mid portion of the bat.
Second home run of the day for Wright State. 2-1 the count to Bausch, to be followed by Chuck Kesterk. As soon as we talked about Dusty Beam and his relationship with his hitting coach, something nice happens. How do you feel about that?
Well, you know, it's nice to get you know, some help along the way, but you know, a lot of it goes to the hitter himself. Execution, his patience at the plate, and able to execute all those mechanics that he has learned over the years, and Dusty deserves a lot of credit for that.
Deuce count to Bausch. Velazquez kicks and deals, and a called 3rd strike.
That's a tough pitch. Bausch talking to himself, going back to the dugout. Pitcher's pitch right there, just clipped the corner, about knee high, so give Vasquez some credit there. Sometimes, you know, they're going to get you with a good one. Even if Bausch swung at the ball, I don't know if he would have made contact. If he did, he wouldn't have hit it very square anywhere.
Chuck Kesterk, the 2-out batter, a strikeout in the 2nd, a base hit in the 4th, and we were talking with Marty Bannister just in between innings, and we were telling him how we were actually going to give him the lead coming back to his play-by-play innings, as this first pitch outside a bit, ball 1. Well, after that 13-run debacle and 3 innings of play-by-play I had in the last game against Cleveland State, well, anything is nice. Ground ball down the 3rd baseline. It's a fair ball. Kesterk around first, and he will head into 2nd. Stand-up 2-base hit for Chuck Kesterk on the year.
Chuck's had a good all-around game. Couple of hits in this one. Also a nice catch in left field in the 1st inning. And it probably feels good to get out from behind that plate. Maybe get a little outfield play and come up to the plate and hit the ball with some authority. Get an opportunity to see Chuck swing on that last hit. A double down the left field line. Pitch was down. He just kept his head down on the ball and slashed it past the 3rd baseman inside the bag down the left field line. And he easily rambled into 2nd base for a stand-up double.
Hit parade continues, number 9 for Wright State, as Nick Shields will look to continue the inning. Downstairs in the dirt, it gets away from the catcher, Bob Rosinski. However, Kesterk not going anywhere.
Well, Shields already has 2 RBIs in this game. See if maybe he can pick up another one here with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th inning. The Raiders already with a 5-run lead on the strength of that Beam home run here earlier on in this inning.
The pitch down in the dirt. It gets away from Rosinski. However, Kesterk playing it halfway will stay over at 2nd.
Zinski made a nice stop on that ball. Breaky ball in the dirt, sliding away. He was able to shift his body and get in front of the baseball. See a lot of guys maybe reach back and try to backhand the ball, but that's going to get them in a lot of trouble. He was able to shift and square up on the ball, keep his shoulders in between that ball, and that's why he was able to keep it out in front.
The look once again at 2nd. And now the throw that way. It's in the dirt, and it bounces away. Here's Kesterk on over to 3rd, and he'll be in there easily.
Kind of interesting there to see why the pitcher was maybe trying to pick off in that situation with 2 outs, and now he's in a tough situation because if he lets a wild one go, that'd be an easy run for Wright State.
Just an errant throw by the pitcher Velazquez. It was down in the dirt, away from the grasp of Eric Duke over at 2nd. So Kesterk now over at 3rd, and the pitch, it's in the air to left field. A line shot, but easily played by Armand Candea, and the sides retire, but not without damage. Dusty Beam goes yard for the 8th time this year, and the Raiders leave the 5th, leading 6-1. Marty Bannister will take you the rest of the way here on Media One.